There are plenty of Tunze Osmolator reviews on YouTube that tell you all the great things about it, but none of them talk about the one major downside. So today I'm going to tell you both the good and the bad so you can make a properly informed decision before you buy. And if it's your first time here and you want a new reefing video every week, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out when I upload. Having a reliable method for replacing the fresh water that evaporates from our saltwater aquariums is crucial to maintaining stable salinity. And as we all know, if you want reliability, you buy German. So it's no surprise that the Tunze Osmolator is the go-to ATO in the hobby. And a big part of its attraction is that it also has several redundancy features to prevent disaster. The primary water level sensor is a reliable and accurate optical sensor, and it also has a backup float valve that will shut the pump off if the optical sensor fails. And if both of those fail, the control box will shut the pump off after 10 minutes, which sounds like a long time, but the flow rate is very slow, so it won't pump much water in that time at all. And if that's not enough, it also has an alarm that will go off when the float valve trips, so you'll know instantly when there's a problem. So with 2 stages of failsafes and an alarm on top of a reliable primary sensor, you can use a large freshwater reservoir without worrying about it emptying a large amount of fresh water into your tank and onto your living room floor. And a large freshwater reservoir means you won't have to fill it up as often, thus reducing maintenance. But the one thing I didn't know until I bought mine was just how noisy the pump is. My tank is in my living room and my freshwater reservoir is right next to it. So when the pump turns on to top off the water, which it does 3 or 4 times every evening, I am greeted with this noise. Now it's hard to accurately convey the noise level on video, but it's significantly louder than any piece of equipment I've ever had on this tank or any other tank. And the first time I heard it, it was like,
want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Now fortunately it only goes off a few times each evening and only ever for 5 or 10 seconds at a time. But despite that, it still gets on my nerves every single time. Now because the flow pump is adjustable, you can turn the flow rate down, which does make it a little quieter. But it's still noisy at the lowest setting, and because the flow rate is then only a trickle, the noise lasts twice as long. Now Tunze does offer an adapter that lets you plug in a different pump of your choice, but the plug is enormous and that alone is enough to put me off buying it, not to mention the extra 65 bones you'll have to part with, plus the cost of a pump of your choice. Now I emailed Tunze to ask if you can just remove the stock pump and attach the bare wires to a different pump, and they told me you can, so long as the new one is a 12 volt DC pump rated at less than 1200 milliamp hours. So when I pluck up the courage to do so, I'm going to connect this DC pump you can get from Amazon for £16 that I know from experience to be both silent and reliable. Now one last point that's worth mentioning is that out of the box, the alarm goes off every time the float valve is triggered, which happens every time I turn my return pumps off. The good news here though is that is a much easier fix, as Tunze includes a separate holder for the float valve, so you can secure it above the water level your sump gets to with the return pump turned off. Or if you'd rather not do that, you can set the alarm to come on after the float valve has triggered and the 10-minute timer has kicked in. To do so, you just need to move the little fuse thingamajig in the control box. At this point, I should say that this video isn't intended to put you off buying the Osmolator. Despite the noise, I don't intend to sell mine, and I just about value the reliability record and safety features over the irritation the noise causes me. After all, this is a mission critical piece of kit, so reliability is paramount. And if the pump switch goes to plan, it'll be perfect. But I do think the noise will be a deciding factor for some, especially if you're not prepared to start cutting plugs off pumps yourself. And if that's you, your significant other might thank me for making this video. And to be honest, fiddling around with electrics like this does make me a little bit nervous, but I'll report back when it's been running a while to let you know how I get on. Now if you have an Osmolator, let me know in the comments section below how noisy you find it, and if you've had success changing the pump. And if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for next week, and until next time, happy reefing.